Hello, False Prelate here, and you are watching PoE Bad Builds. Today, we'll be talking about one of the worst builds that I've ever played. And it's quite fitting, as this channel is called PoE Bad Builds. We are going to take a look at the Animate Guardian Necromancer. So if you take a look over here, my Animate Guardian is running around, as he usually does, not really doing a whole lot of anything. And you might notice, as he's facing away, that he is holding a Starforge sword. So this idea came to me when I picked up a Starforge, and I was just kind of like thinking like, what builds could I do with this? And I was like looking through different like uniques, and I saw Gruthkul's Pelt, and I was like, oh man, that'd make such a cool build if you could just put those two things together. And I realized that the downside to Gruthkul's Pelt, disabling your skills was just, or your spells, was just way too big of a downside. But then I thought, well, what if there's a way I could use this without having to ever use any spells? And then I realized that the Animate Guardian just straight up autos. He never uses any spells. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to do a Starforge Gruthkul's build on the Animate Guardian and just like deck this guy out. So I spent about 100 chaos or so on this Animate Guardian, which by the way I would recommend nobody ever does. And yeah, this is where we're at right now. So the other gear on this guy is Comb's Roots, which were pretty cheap. It's pretty standard. But then I have two rares. I have a rare helmet and a rare pair of gloves. And the helmet is a very well rolled rare helmet with a ton of life, a ton of accuracy, and the +1 to melee weapon range. And the reason that I got that was because I felt like the Animate Guardian wasn't really hitting a lot of things a lot of the time, especially if he was using multi-strike. The other piece of gear, which is probably the most expensive piece of gear, was a pair of rare gloves that had a ton of flat fizz and I think some other stats on them. But basically, it was the kind of gloves, the spike gloves that had the 20% melee, but also had the fossil roll with the double fizz on it. So it's like the highest fizz and damage that you could possibly get on like a non-crit glove build, or non-crit build for gloves. So yeah, so there's about, as I said, there's about 100 chaos worth of gear on this guy right now. So let's take a look at like some of the gear that I'm wearing, and we'll talk about some of my passives and like what I've done with this build. As I said, I've kind of taken this from the Soul Rest build that I had done previously. So I have these Grip of the Council, which don't actually increase the damage of my Animate Guardian because he doesn't do any elemental damage. But I'm using zombies as frontline in this build, and you actually kind of need the zombies for wave clear and pack clear because the Animate Guardian does shit all, basically. Especially when it comes to clearing maps. He's okay for boss killing, but he doesn't do anything for packs. So that's where these come in. And in this setup, I have Desecrate, Wither, Cast while Channeling, Flash Offering setup, just to keep on speeding my minions up, because the minion movement speed on this guy is really, really bad. And then on my main setup here, I have Animate Guardian, Ruthless, Minion Damage, Multi-Strike, Melee Fizz, and Melee Splash. You need Melee Splash because if you ever get a Allies Cannot Die mod and you don't have it, this guy will just keep attacking the same thing and you'll never kill a pack. I have that basically on just a general rare. I had previously been using Empower here instead of Ruthless because I wanted the health to ensure that he didn't die. And at the time I had about 36,000 life on him. Right now, with it gone, I have about 22,000 life and about somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 life regen per second. So I don't think he really needs the Empower anyway. And honestly, his damage is so bad, I'd rather just put the damage on it. Because I'm using the 6-link for my Animate Guardian, I don't have a 6-link for my zombies, so I'm using this Claw right here, which gives added fire, faster attacks, and melee splash. So this is like a pseudo 6-link, and I have it enchanted so it has minion cast and attack speed. Basically, I just have Empower, Raise Zombie, and minion damage in here, and Empower just for higher tier maps so that my meat shields aren't dying. In my helm, same as the last build as well, I have Raise Spectre, Blood Magic, Complication, and Minion Life here. That's just to give frenzy charges to my Animate Guardian, and the helmet itself is just for extra zombies and tons of life. This is kind of different. I'm using the Oak here with Necromantic Aegis because, as I said, I put 100 chaos onto this Animate Guardian, so if he dies, I straight up lose 100 chaos. So my idea was to just keep this guy alive with tons of life regen. Between the Gruthkuls and this item, if he's on low health, he has 11% life regen per second, and that plus his leech is somewhere close to like 7k, so it's pretty big. The jewelry is just maxing out resistances and life and mana, and I could definitely be using something else here. I'm not really sure what to put there though. Maybe I'd put like a Spectre Boots just to get an extra one of these guys out, but I don't really know. Alright, so in terms of my skill tree, it's a pretty standard Necromancer skill tree. You want to be going for all the minion accuracy nodes that you possibly can, because he's just doing autos and he'll miss all the time if he doesn't have it. And unlike, you know, the Spectres and Skeletons that recently got patched to have, like, you know, extra base accuracy per level and things like that, the Animate Guardian has not been touched in ages, and so this skill I feel like has fallen really far behind in the meta for that purpose. And so, you know, that's why I have accuracy on my helm and on my gloves and on all of these items here and on the Starforge. In terms of jewels, I have a Watcher's Eye that gives me temp chains removal and mana recovery rate with clarity. I also have some life. Over here I have, basically this is just a taunt jewel with some fizz on it. And I also have a zombie slam jewel. Alright, so let's walk into a map here and see what this build can't do. What I'm going to do is I'll just show you what this guy does alone without any zombies before I start summoning some zombies. Because I just want to kind of like drive home the point of this skill, like why it really needs to be changed. Like, what are some of the issues with this skill? So, if you watch, you'll notice he'll just stop attacking sometimes. Let's see if I can get a rare that lasts long enough so you can see it happen. Okay, there, right there. So, like, it just stopped attacking for like a second and a half, right? And it does this all the time. And that's actually the reason why I have Comb's Roots on this build on the Animate Guardian, is because if he gets stunned and he's in that period where he's not attacking, he can just get perma-stunned. And he just sit there not doing anything for so long. So if you notice, like, when he's actually hitting things, the damage isn't that bad. The problem is that his AI is really terrible. And unlike the zombies, he leaves things, like, unkilled. Like, there's a lot of trash that he'll leave behind. Because he'll just sit there and just he'll just wander around and not really hit anything, right? Alright, so let's take a look at what this build looks like when I actually have everything up. So I've got 10 zombies, and that also is 10% physical damage reduction for me and my Animate Guardian as well. Alright. So once you get your zombies going, they start to clear the packs pretty well, and then your Animate Guardian can focus on basically doing the single target damage. This build's kind of squishy, to be honest. It's definitely nowhere near as good as the Soul Rest. Although to be fair, the Soul Rest build is like super broken, and I don't think that there's too many minion builds out there that really compare to it. Oh god. See how he can take on Thane. Probably just gonna get wrecked here. Oh. Yeah, so you'll notice it's kind of hard to see what's going on right now because there's a lot of things on the screen. But you'll notice that the Animate Guardian, he just stops and he just doesn't do anything for a lot of the time. I think honestly this skill wouldn't be so bad if they just improved the minion AI on it. If they gave him maybe like 2 to 4 scaling melee range per level or something like that, and then they increase his AI to be more like the zombies or more like the skeletons, and then they maybe added a little bit of damage, this skill could be very viable. And the fact that I've put 100 chaos of gear on this Animate Guardian and it's still this bad kind of goes to show how much this skill really does need to be reworked. So I hope you enjoyed my my build video guide. I guess I'll go over here and I'll just kill the boss so you can kind of get an idea of what this is like. Actually, you know what? I will. I'll kill my zombies so you can just see just him do it. So you see the damage is just, it's really not there. Like, he can start attacking pretty quick. But he kind of just runs around, he just stops attacking, takes his sweet time. Doesn't really give a fuck. Yep, there he goes. I really wish they'd improve the AI on this. You're gonna, okay, yep. So, that's the build. I'll leave a link to the path of building. One thing I will say though, quickly before I go, is with the path of building, because he's using the Gruthkul's Pelt, I have 2 armor sets listed. And the first armor set is my armor set, and the second is his armor set. And if you switch to his armor set, because he's wearing Gruthkul's, the way the path of building works, it thinks that I'm wearing the Gruthkul's, and then it shows his damage as 0. That's obviously not the case. He's doing damage. But if you switch back to my armor set and then you go to Animate Guardian and you put the correct set on him, then you'll see his damage. And right now it's something like, I think the tooltip says 37,000. I feel like it's actually higher than that. I don't think the calculation is totally correct. Maybe that is all it's doing. I'm not sure. It's pretty bad. It could be correct. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And have a great day.